Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and a brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. This video in particular is all about summoner advancement. One thing that I struggle with each week, based on the fact that I do YouTube as well as like for the prospect of hoarding crystals, I'm not really putting in as much points as I want. So I needed to rethink the way that I was kind of grinding out my resource, ranking up champions, when I spend my crystals, and how to be a good contributor to my alliance. My alliance set a minimum of 9,000 points to get in summoner advancement, but we could be getting a lot more, and there is some kind of hints and tricks and tips that I can give in order to improve your grind throughout the week. It doesn't matter what level you are, there's always something available. You've just got to be more strategic in the way that you're playing and what you're playing in. So what I'm going to do in this video is separate out different sections of stuff within the game that we do and participate in, and how that benefits resource collection to the point of getting more points. As you can see, there's things like crystals, there's things with regards to alliance participation, and there's other stuff that are going to give you a significant amount of points. The larger the points, obviously, is more easier to then grind out. One thing in particular that stands out is the extent of 3 stars, and the more 3 stars you get, the more you awaken them, the more you rank them. It is a lot better for your points, because they're one of the most easiest things in the game to grind. So the first area I want to talk about is Arena. In Arena, there's the opportunity to get certain resources that are going to be beneficial. You've got your Prem crystal shards, you've got your 4-star, 5-star crystal shards, and there is a potential 26 Prems on offer just by doing these standard ones, which are, say, featured, the basic, the 3-star, and also there's a little bit extra if you want to do summoner trails. There's so many things on offer in order to grind out Prems. So 26 is kind of I'd say an average score for what you can get for the milestones completed. Obviously, this will vary between your levels. If you're lower level, this might be a little bit more difficult, but you still be shooting to get about 10 from one specific grind. So that's once every 2 days. So yeah, go and do that. That's a good kind of point to call. Why do we get these Prem shards? It's important because the more you dupe, the more stuff you're going to get. 3-star shards, 4-star shards, you know, it can be beneficial. The more times you dupe a champion affects your score, so try and grind out for those Prems. And also don't forget to, you'll get those arena boost crystals, you'll also get battle chips, and that kind of aids with, for arena crystal opening. And even though it's not a substantial amount, it's still handy to then, if you get an awakened 3-star Punisher, that's good. Little bit ISO, not amazing. Gold though, handy for rank up, so that is important. Finally, always remember to participate in Cornucopia at the weekend. The splash, and as well, you can get some more Prem crystal shards and can be helpful to your cause. And don't forget your rank, because that's important as well within arenas. I try, if I'm busy at the weekends, I try and at least put in about 1,000,000 points in each. Sometimes it might be a little bit less, and it may vary. It just depends on, if I want a life at the weekend. And it's always important to do that, because it means that you're getting those resources, the 4-star shards, the 5-star shards, just helpful to kind of further yourself within the game, and also helping towards resource, which then collects, and then you can form crystals, which then allow you to then put more points in. I think it's like 400 points for a 4-star crystal, and then we've got 650 points for a 5-star, so it's every little counts. Now, higher level players will find that extensive arena grind will probably mean that you'll be forming a 4-star maybe every week, and a 5-star between 1.5 months to 2 months. It may be a lot less depending on if you're an extremely high level player. Lower levels may find that it's a lot longer to form a 5-star, and I'd say frequent, maybe about once every 2 weeks. Depends if you're an extensive arena grinder. At lower level, you may find that you're getting it, once every, week and a half, or maybe less. It just does depend on how much time you spend on the game. When I started off playing, I was playing for about 10 hours a day, and scaled that back over time just because, well, I appreciate my own time and my own life. But don't let that discourage you. I've kind of done my bit with regards to grinding my account so I can get the full and reap the benefits of better champions and kind of more frequent 4-stars and 5-stars. Alliances are integral to working together, as well as pushing yourself to achieve more things with regards to questing, war, and those 3-day events. It's vitally important. that you work together as a unit to kind of home in on those rewards, because they mean that you'll be getting more prems, more 4-star shards, more 5-star shards, alliance crystals, things that are going to be beneficial to getting increased points. So part one of the points, and this is vitally important, working together in alliance questing, because the crystals that you get can mean the difference between 2,000 points a week and 4,000 points per week. So your own individual element is based on a team aspect. You have to perform well, your team has to kind of do the same, and if you reap the rewards from that and you're doing, say, map 5 regularly, then you're going to be shooting for about 4,000 points a week, because you'll be hitting those milestones. You'll be getting, hopefully, those map 6s. And obviously, people that are getting map 6s, you know, you're going to be getting a fantastic amount of points from those crystals. And obviously, this is all dependent on bracket, and you can find yourself getting some really decent stuff. The more helpful resources means it can be like more helpful for rank ups. So your performance has to be as good as the person next to you. It's kind of like, you know, it's similar to war in any case. Like, you're responsible for keeping the man to the right of you alive, and likewise, he's doing it for the left. So that's what is vitally important, work together. 3-day events are really important for alliances, and it's something that we all need to work together on, whether it's arena, combat, whether it's perfect series, whether it's item use or completion. It's important to work together, because the rewards that you get from them are so important towards what we're talking about here with regards to point collection. Milestone rewards, you know, you're not going to get a huge amount, but you are going to get enough to form 1 Prem Crystal, but also it's those 4-star shards, and that can mean a lot to people that have just started with the game. Obviously alphas as well, that's vitally important, because it means that you can rank up champions, and the idea of working together is an important one. With completion, look towards heroic and completing the most kind of like shortest path for energy consumption. The MCOC info bot, which is online, can give you that info, but it's usually the best thing I can recommend is to count up the kind of circles, and the less obviously is the better for energy consumption. So kind of look to that on one of the paths on heroic. Next thing is item use. Make sure you don't spend your items. Save them for the point of when item use is on. So signature stones, you know, boosts. Make sure you're spending at that point, because then it's really helpful for kind of like helping your alliance. So hoarding those items until item use is going to mean that you're going to put your alliance in a very strong position to get that final milestone. Arena combat again is largely dependent on the person. I would say it's great when it falls over the weekend, because you can grind that out and be helpful to your alliance. And perfect series again is it's very hit and miss. So we don't do perfect series that much, but I think that it's the other ones that are a lot more easier to get those milestone rewards from. Alliance Brawl and Node Removal are two, you know, very easy 24-hour kind of where they're kind of like quests. They're, you know, great for getting those little prems here and there, and it's like being in a strong alliance that kind of agree with the fact of a good amount of grinding, a good amount of working together. You can achieve a lot more resources kind of given to you just by not doing very much. Alliance wars seem to be another thing that is incredibly helpful to alliances to kind of get more 4-star and 5-star shards. Why is everything I'm mentioning alliance related so important to the idea behind summoner advancement increasing points? It's all about resource. So your 4-star shards, you know, that's going to help you form a crystal. Your 5-star shards, again, crystal. War Victor crystal, War Challenger crystal. Everything, every little bit counts to kind of put you forward. And it also can be good kind of experience for you to understand how wars go. And some alliances may choose to do wars more frequently and maybe opt to do alliance quests less. Some do things at the same time, which can be alright, but you can feel yourself being kind of like pushed and pulled a bit too thinly, and I don't think that's very good. I think it's all about, you know, creating strong characters. Higher level, you know, alliances will do this more frequently, but at the moment we're kind of a 5-2 split, so 5 days alliance quest, 2 days alliance wars. It's just really to kind of balance out the stronger teams into stuff, so we can then do stuff like map 5 and then, you know, occasionally map 6 once every 2 weeks. And the War Victor crystal and the Challenger crystal kind of both have two different kind of point schemes. The one has 300 with the War Victor, and then 200 for the War Challenger. So that's a substantial amount of points then. You know, if you do it twice, it does mean that it's going to be 600 and 400 respectively. So the more you do with that, the more kind of points you can gain from it. As we touched on earlier, you can get from Arena a load of prems, and the opportunity as well to kind of get some 4-star and 5-star shards. As we do things like monthly events, we're finding that we're getting a lot more prems as well as 3-stars, especially if we do master. And that's the name of the game. The 3-star is a big kind of point and linchpin in getting more points. Why? Well, it's quite obvious. The extent of 2-star getting out of prems means that the more prems you get, the more 2-stars you get, the more 2-stars you awaken or dupe, the more 3-star shards you get. The more 3-star shards you get, makes you form one 3-star crystal, and a 3-star crystal can give you 250 points a time. And I'm finding that I'm getting it more frequently to get those 3 stars, and obviously that's just easy points to get. I'm finding that the time it takes to get a 4-star is a lot longer. You know, if it's a week, in a week I could probably get about 4 to 6 3-stars. And the amount of points that then gives means that, you know, hey, that's putting me in a really strong position. That's 1,500 points that have just come very easily without having to do very much. So the more arena I grind, the more kind of prem shards I get. The more prem shards I get, 2 stars, you get the idea. So that's one thing that I find that's a really cool element and people should really shoot for. So what are the advantages of holding crystals over, say, ranking up champions? Well, looking at like your stash, you can find that some stuff within there expires. So you maybe want to focus on rank ups one week and spend, say, over subscribe catalysts, alphas, whatnot, and rank up champions one week, and then maybe spend your crystals next, thinking that, hey, I'm gonna probably, you know, hit my threshold of kind of like what I can achieve this week, and maybe I want an easier week next week by just spending crystals. Then you've got that flexibility between kind of grinding points. So what are my top tips for getting better summoner advancement scores? Well, it starts off with solo questing. What I like to do is let solo questing dictate what I'm doing in the game for any given day. So if event questing is on, then I'll event quest. If hero use is on, then I'll do hero use. And I'll focus my attention in stuff like arena, a little bit of questing here or there, but mainly to do with arena because of my 4-star roster. And there are ways that you can just repeat using one energy point in the Road to Labyrinth, using a 4-star, and then you can do that on repetition in order to get a huge score with the hero use. But the main factor is that if there's an advancement on, then I'll do a rank up. And if there's an arena on, arena wins, then I'll do arena. And why should that reflect what you do and how you play? And it's all about the rewards you get. Even though they're not so substantial, they're substantial enough to help you once a day, because it's every 22 hours, to kind of like boost you in the game. Obviously there are things like mystic combat, advancements and things like that, but it's all about the stuff that you get from them. And doing them each day and kind of focusing your gameplay and what you're doing within the game means that, hey, you could get some real benefit from improving your roster. Like rank ups, we've got more gold, we've got, you know, greater solo crystals, standard solo crystals, we've got 4-star signature stones, things that can be spent for points, and it's like that little added extra each day. The next thing is your daily class catalyst quests, because you need the resource. You need the resource to then get your tier 2s, tier 3s of the class catalyst, because then it can help your rank ups. You know, the more kind of like 3-stars you get, you can rank them up more. But still with these little ones, they're handy for just to have like a full amount of them, because then you can rank up a champion quickly. If you need some more points, handy for things like level up, and just making sure you've got a regular stream of them in your inventory. The next thing is rank ups. Like, every little helps. It doesn't matter if it's a 4-star, 5-star, or even a 3-star or a 2-star. Every little counts to kind of increase your points, whether or not it's to help towards an advancement in the solo event, or it's to just get some more points for level up, or it's just to contribute to that summoner advancement total. Every little counts. So anytime you got anyone available to rank up, then rank them up. Last but most certainly not least is arena. In arena, getting those prem crystal shards, because they're important for what I said earlier, and what I'll repeat now is that the more prems you get, the more chances you get 2 stars. The 2 stars are awakened or duped, which then means 3 stars. 3 stars mean that the 3-star crystal is formed, and that gives you 250 points. The more of those, which is more frequent to get and more easier to get, is the way to then increase that summoner advancement total, along with a whole host of things that we talked about. But that's something that puts in a significant amount, and obviously then that leads on to other things like duping and getting those 4-star shards, then getting those 5-star shards from duping your 4 stars. So that's really the kind of process. Those things that I mentioned, go give them a go, or like I said, solo quests allow them to kind of tell you what you're doing for that day, because then it's important for the grand scheme of things. So go get those milestones, go get those fantastic things to help your summoner advancement score, and hopefully this helps. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe for more Marvel Contest of Champions based content, and follow me on social media, link is in the description below. Please share it with somebody that's maybe, wants to increase their summoner advancement score. Alliances, handy for you guys, so maybe share amongst your alliance that are looking for some ideas how to increase the scores. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.